Are you serious? Are you serious? The Philippines are warning China. What? Get a cup of coffee, everybody, because are you serious? Here's what we got going on. I want to thank Troy of North Carolina for this information, but according to the news being released by the United Press International, the Philippine government has asked China to withdraw its ships from one of the island areas there, which is an integral part of the Philippines. Now, the Iguagan Shoal, as known as the Second Thomas Reef, is in what Manila calls the West Philippine Sea, more commonly referred to as the South China Sea. Now, the South China Sea is the site of a number of overlapping territorial claims between China and the Philippines, and China is asserting national sovereignty over the entire body of water. But the Filipino Department of Foreign Affairs spokesman Raul Hernandez said that the islands is in a 121 miles from off the Pavilion Province, and it lies well within the Philippines' 200-mile exclusive economic zone. So there's a dispute. So the Philippine government has said to China, withdraw your ships. So, wow, go. So let's just see how that plays out between the Philippines and the Chinese. Meanwhile, Nick of New York got this information to me. Egypt, I thought, how's that going, Egypt, with that new president you got? That Mohammed Morsi. I mean, we already know he crucified a few Christians in the front lawn of his palace. After Friday prayers, they drag Christians down into the bottom of the basement of their mosque and torture them. We already know Coptic Christians have had their churches and their homes burnt. Executions and beheadings have happened. Public stabbings, honor killings, all on the rise. How's tourism going? How many people want to actually go to Egypt to see the pyramids these days? Well, folks, here's the deal. Tourism is down big time, huge. And now, powder. They're having unbelievable problem with electricity, as they're having outages everywhere in Egypt. When, in Cairo's reporting, the neighborhood is in the dark, and this young students trying to graduate for their final exams for college have to try to study by candlelight in the sweltering heat and without air condition, without any luxuries as you would normally have. Egypt is becoming woefully impoverished due to the Sharia law, Muslim Brotherhood cleric leading Mohammed Morsi, who is more focused on implementing a Sharia law. He's a fierce king. He is the cruel Lord. It's in the Bible in Isaiah 19. Matter of fact, go with me there for a Bible prophecy update, and I will share it with you. We talked about this now over 2 years ago when the riotings first started in Egypt, in Tahrir Square. In late January of 2011, I went on, did YouTube videos, and showed you right here in Isaiah 19 that Egypt would fall, that Mubarak's days were numbered, that there was going to be a rise of an Arab, there would be a new group would come in, and that they would be the Muslim Brotherhood, because they were backed by the Obama administration and Hillary Rodham Clinton. Well, here's what the Bible said would happen, did happen. It's called Isaiah 19, verse 1, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And you guys know that when the pale horseman of the apocalypse was actually seen and caught on video and was broadcast live on channel 2 out of London, England, and also on MSNBC in America. Millions of people saw this pale horseman on the television screen like a ghost-like figure going through the riots. That same night, rioters broke into the King Tut museum and stole 8 of his idol gods. The idols of Egypt were moved at the presence of the Lord. Now look at this. Verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. We know that happened. And they shall fight everyone against his brother. We know that happened. And everyone against his neighbor. We know that happened. City against city. Yep, that happened. And kingdom against kingdom, or Christians and Muslims against one another. That happened. Also, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. In other words, they would lose faith in Jose Mubarak. That happened. And I will destroy the council thereof. We know that happened because after Mubarak resigned and left, a 5 military general governing council is what they call themselves, ruled Egypt for 18 months. And then after the election in which Mohammed Morsi was elected, then what happened was simply then Morsi, on his 6th day in power, this fierce king, cruel lord, eliminated the governing council. And so in my book, Mark of the Beast, RFID, which you can find at my website, I absolutely predicted that Mohammed Morsi would win the election when there was only 13 candidates running, and I even put his picture on the back of the book cover. Now, he is the fierce king. The Lord told me he is the fierce king. He is the cruel Lord. He's right here in the scripture, and these scriptures are being fulfilled. You can read it. I mean, it jumps off the page. It's really pretty easy. You don't have to be a Bible scholar to see that biblical prophecy is being fulfilled, and the Lord is showing us in his word. Matter of fact, it says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council thereof, and they shall seek the idols. Now, I told you originally 8 idols were stolen out of King Tut's museum. Within a week, 5 of those idols were recovered and put back in the museum. But 3 were never found, were never located. And to this day, 3 of King Tut's idol gods have never been found. But get this. It says in the scripture, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, to the charmers. That's 1. To them that have familiar spirits. That's 2. And to the wizards. That's 3. The 3 missing idols of King Tut's museum are the 3 idol gods that the Egyptian leadership would pursue under this new regime. The Egyptians, it says in verse 4, will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord and to a fierce king. He shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And then it says the waters shall fail, and the sea and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up, and the rivers shall melt away, and the brooks, and they will empty out. And it goes on, and look, it's exactly what's going on. The biggest drought in history is taking place in Egypt right now. So we're seeing Bible prophecy. I want to thank Nick of New York for this information. It goes right along. Now they're having power outages due to the situation. Also, quickly, Nick of New York got this to me. There's been an explosion in Pakistan, killing 5 Pakistani police officers. As it's getting more uglier there, as the sectarian violence between Shiite and Muslim groups are beginning to rise. It's actually religious war. And then we have Nick of New York's report. There's been a ferry that has capsized in Malaysia in a river. And 21 people are missing there. The boat was only supposed to be able to hold 74 people. It had over 200 people on board. And then the thing flips over. But wait, there's more. Thousands of people are marching against gay marriage in Paris, France. And last night, tear gas and riot police and beating people over the head with batons. And it got ugly as they began to try to force these 150,000 Christians and protesters against gay marriage who were being totally peaceful for 3 days. It was the riot police sent in by the French government that started beating heads and shooting off tear gas because they don't want any more protests. Just get them off the street. Drive them off with a rod of iron. That's the government of France's fault. The corrupt parliament, the corrupt government there who passed this gay marriage bill in the middle of the night and forced it upon the public. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're living in the last days. Bible prophecies being fulfilled all around us.